Good morning. Excited to have so many of you join us early today. We're going to be getting started in about 4 minutes. Welcome to SCORE's webinar. We're going to be talking about how to get found online in local search, AI, everything that's changing in regarding to search. Also, some best practices for your website, some resources. Really excited to share with you the latest and greatest and proven techniques that you can employ right away. So while we're waiting to get started, go ahead and post in chat. I want to hear from you. Let me know where you're from and if you're currently marketing to businesses or consumers. This session will be recorded and you'll also receive a copy of my presentation slides. And I do encourage you to be asking questions as we go through our webinar. So very much meant to be interactive. So again, if you're just joining us, we've got a few minutes before we start our SCORE webinar today, but go ahead and post in chat. Let us know where you're from and if you're marketing to businesses or consumers. Looking forward to getting started in just a few minutes. All right, we have attendees from Baltimore. Welcome from California. I know we usually get some from Hawaii too. So we've got local in Costa Mesa as well. Again, don't be shy, post in chat, let us know where you're from and if you are marketing to businesses or consumers. Regardless, this presentation is going to be very applicable for any business and especially if you're looking to get found in search. We've got some more California attendees. So glad you're able to join us today. Happy Friday, everyone. And attendees coming in from North Carolina, from Maryland. So great to have so many of you from across the country joining our presentation today. And attendees from Indiana. So glad you can join us today. So we'll start off this session in just about a minute or so. SCORE will be sharing a video with all the amazing resources they provide to entrepreneurs and small businesses. And then we'll jump right into our webinar and really sharing with you the best techniques to be focused on and how to adapt your strategy so you can continue to be found online.
Starting or growing a business can feel exciting, confusing, and overwhelming, sometimes all in the same day. And today there are more tools than ever to help. You can ask AI for a checklist, a marketing idea, or a quick answer. But your business is not just a checklist. It is your time, your money, your dream, and your future. That is why a real human mentor still matters. A SCORE mentor can listen to your goals, understand your challenges, and help you think through what makes sense for your business. From the first spark of an idea to writing a business plan, improving your marketing, understanding your numbers, managing growth, and planning what comes next, SCORE is here to walk alongside you. Mentoring is available at no cost, no pressure, no sales pitch. Just experienced guidance, practical advice, and a relationship built around helping you succeed.
It doesn't matter where you're at in your business journey, whether you're starting, you're growing, or you're a mature business. Every company has a unique set of opportunities and challenges. SCORE mentors are here to help you think out these issues, develop a solution, and implement that solution.
You do not have to build your business alone. Request your free SCORE mentor today. With SCORE, your success story can start with one conversation.
Good morning and welcome to our webinar today. So excited you're joining us. Today we're going to be talking about one of the hottest topics besides AI. AI is always the most popular, but really the importance of how to continue to focus on getting found in local search, as well as everything that's changing regarding search, such as AEO, GEO, SEO, everything we're going to be talking about today, and where you really need to adapt to continue to be found where your audience is searching for you. Good morning, I'm Victoria Byrne. I'm the founder of Creative Marketing Services, and for over 18 years, we've provided a wide range of custom website design and development services, helping clients get found online and driving more business through a wide range of digital marketing services such as search, email, Google Ads, you name it, and quite a bit of branding and graphic design services. We work with clients of all sizes, from startups to very large corporations. A lot of who we work with are small businesses. So I'm really excited today to share with you the absolute latest trends, where you should be focused on, techniques, resources to help you be more successful in your online search visibility and driving more business. I'm not a SCORE mentor, but I am a volunteer where I've taught a wide range of educational webinars on websites and digital marketing for about 12 years now. So I invite you to connect with us at Creative Marketing Services. So a quick overview of our agenda today. We've got a lot of information we're going to be covering, and know that SCORE will be sending you copies of my presentation slides you can download and refer back to, and also a video recording of today's session. So I encourage you to be asking questions as we go through our webinar. I just ask that you specifically post your questions in the Q&A box so I can be addressing those as we go through the session, and we'll have a time to wrap up at the end with a few additional questions as well. So wanted to highlight what we're going to be covering today. First and foremost, how are people searching today has absolutely changed. And we really want to highlight where you need to focus and adapt to continue to be found online. Be looking at your SEO basics. And we're going to cover a lot of great information on that. How to show up locally, what AI search means for your business, and of course, very practical steps you can implement right away. So when it comes to getting found in search, these days, of course, you probably all know this, it's not enough to have a website. You've got to be found. What marketing initiatives are you employing to drive quality traffic to your site? And search is a great resource to be focused on. It can certainly be a long-term process, but it can provide one of the best return on investment because you're not paying for ads. But certainly, we're going to be covering today the importance of where to change and adapt, because you want to continue to be found. It's not just in the Google search results, of course, anymore. By investing in search, again, it is that long-term process. You're going to be more visible, provide more credibility, which can help you with AI overviews and other resources being found. And of course, your competition, there's so much more competition these days as far as being involved in search. So let's start off with what is happening with search today. What is SEO today? So SEO, traditionally search engine optimization. We're now actually changing that to search everywhere optimization, because it's no longer just being found in Google search that matters. So today I'm going to be walking you through exactly what to focus on for SEO. What is GEO? What is AEO? Where to focus? Because you need to adapt. And I'm going to continue to refer to this during my presentation today. Adapt and change to where your audience is searching, because it's no longer just in Google search results. And it's primarily based on how your audience is shifting in terms of how they search. So people are asking questions. They're not just typing in a keyword or a keyword phrase anymore. With the adoption of AI, AI is at lightning speed, changing every single day. So all those great AI tools are summarizing answers instantly. You want to be able to be seen in ChatGPT answers or AI overviews. There's certainly more competition than ever for visibility and being found online. And one of the key things to really focus on is trust. Your trust and authorities matter more than ever. So the more reviews you can get online, the more mentions that you have online, that's all going to feed into getting better visibility. And we'll get to that here in a few minutes. In terms of how people are searching today, so of course the traditional is doing a Google search, but it's so much more than that. People are searching in Maps, Apple Maps, Google Maps. They're searching for near me, where can I find? Certainly voice search is playing a big role as well. And of course, AI tools, ChatGPT, Google AI overviews, to name a few. And of course, within social as well. So really taking a hard look at the opportunities that you have, but you really need to show up in multiple places in order to have that visibility, to drive that quality traffic to generate more business. So today we're going to be talking a lot about the opportunity to get more conversion. So ultimately driving that quality traffic to your website to get a conversion, which means your audience is taking action. Are they making a purchase? Are they filling out a lead form? Are they calling you for more information? And what does this really mean for your business? Well, first off, one strategy is no longer enough. Throughout this presentation, you'll hear me talk about the importance that your traditional SEO is absolutely still the foundation and the work that needs to go into that. Now, in addition, we're going to talk about what to do to get found through generative and answer as well. Your website is absolutely still the hub, the foundation of your digital marketing, and consistently putting up new content, having the right reviews, having the right mentions across the board, your consistency of information, but also very importantly, the consistency. If you really want to be found in search results, it's the consistency of putting up new quality content on your website that is really structured for search and where things are adapting, which we'll get into a little bit here. And of course, the more content you can be putting up, the more visibility you have. And the benefit of putting up new content on your website that's really geared for your audience is, number one, it can certainly help you with search. Number two, of course, now you have this great content you can be sharing across your digital marketing to drive more quality traffic to the site. So for example, if you're putting up blog articles on your website, now you can share those on social media, you can share those in email campaigns to drive even more quality traffic. So it's tremendously beneficial to invest in your content strategy, not just for search as well. So I know we have attendees from across the country, different size businesses, different industries, but I just wanted to start out with the basics of the traditional SEO or search engine optimization. And really one of the key things you want to take away from today's presentation is any of the work that you put into search, any of the content you're creating, first and foremost, you're always writing it for your target audience. Secondarily, you're incorporating your keywords, keyword phrases throughout your content. I think that's probably one of the common mistakes I see a lot of businesses make, is that unfortunately they're just trying to focus on getting those keywords in their content and using too many keywords where it's really not as readable. So always, first and foremost, you're writing your content for your audience and then you're layering in your keywords. So with SEO, it helps your search engines find out who you are, what you offer, why customers should choose you, and where you're located. Another common question I get asked all the time is, how does Google even decide who shows up in the rankings? So there's a lot of factors that go into play. Certainly how relevant your content is based on the keyword phrase that's being searched. Does it match? Does it align? If they're driving traffic to your site and there's a disconnect, that's actually going to hurt you in the long run. Also, where you location-wise, especially for those of you that are local-based businesses that have even a brick and mortar, and also taking a look at geographic resources as well. And not just Google, but really across the board, it's really about trust. take a look at all of the opportunities that you have to have sites beyond just a Google Business Review or Yelp or Angie's List. Anywhere you can really get that visibility for reviews, that actually helps your online credibility as well. So when we're talking about search everywhere optimization is what we're referring to it now, starts again with your basic SEO. So a lot of times businesses I speak to, they say, I want to get found in the AI overviews or ChatGPT. Well, it's very difficult to start from zero to just jump into those listings and those availability to see online. It really does start with your traditional SEO. The more work that you put into that, we're going to go through all of the key components and steps and recommendations today. But search engine optimization absolutely is still the baseline. It's what's going to help you get found in the Google rankings. It really is driven a lot by your keyword and your content that's optimized on your website and online, and some technical optimization on your website. And I'm going to be giving you a checklist for that as well. So where search is adapting, again, it is happening so fast, is taking it beyond just SEO. So GEO is a phrase you want to be familiar with. It's generative engine optimization. This is where you can be found when your audience are conducting searches in ChatGPT, Google AI overviews, for example. It's really focused on structured, authoritative content. And I'm going to give you very specific examples on basically adjusting the type of content and how it's structured when you're putting it on your website to help you get found in these results. And very important, it's being cited as a trusted source. Now, when it comes to AEO, is answer engine optimization, and that's where you're going to have featured snippets. Voice search is definitely driving that, direct answers, and it's really making sure that when you are putting up new content, it's clear, it's concise, it's helpful content. It's not just copying and pasting generic content from an AI content generator, right? Putting your own spin on it, making sure that you really are reflecting your voice, your authority, and your insights, and not having generic content. Those are all helping. So for businesses, it's really important that you are absolutely adjusting to where search is today and continuing to evolve so you can continue to be found in online search. So when we look at our traditional SEO, or search engine optimization, it used to be you could type in, say, dog daycare Glendale. At the very top, it was paid ads. These are people that are paying to run ads with Google. And of course, it's costing them if they click on the ad and driving traffic to the website. You turn off your ads, they're no longer appearing. Beneath that were the Google Maps. And then after that was your organic results. So this is where you're not paying for ads, but showing up on page 1 of Google is absolutely a great goal to hit, because that's where people are spending time and resources. The changes that have happened are now, even above the ads, you'll see what are called the AI overviews. You probably all experience these as well. And it really provides that AI generative content, and you can show up in these AI results. Again, it takes time and having the right strategy in place and starting off with your SEO. So taking a look at so many more opportunities to get found in search. When we talk about our traditional SEO, you've got to really be on page 1 in order for the Google rankings, in order to be found to drive business. Think about 75% of people don't go past page 1. When was the last time that you did a Google search that you actually went past page 1? Right? Probably not. And it takes time. So again, I'm going to continue to reinforce in our presentation today the importance of understanding that getting found in search is a long-term strategy. It takes implementation and consistency and patience. But again, it can provide one of the best return on investments, and you're not relying on ads, which is great. It tends to be a higher quality traffic as well, because people are searching for your products or services. So again, it's an investment in time. So today I wanted to walk you through specifically keys to success when it comes to SEO efforts. The first thing you're going to want to do is identify the proper keyword phrases that you want to focus on. I do recommend as much as possible that you're focused on what are called transactional keyword phrases. Where can I buy? Dog daycare near me, for example. Those are going to be transactional, people that are actively looking for your products or service. And today I'm going to walk you through some examples and tools to help you finding the right keyword phrases. Because if you're not starting with the right keyword phrases, a lot of your efforts could be very limiting. So for example, we don't necessarily just want information, how to bake a cake, coming to your website, because they're just looking for information. They're not looking to purchase, versus birthday cakes for sale near me, for example. Once you've identified your keyword phrases, you need to complete a one-time search engine optimization work on your website. And I'll walk you through that today as well. Now, that can certainly have a nice boost when you've done that SEO work on your site to get you better visibility online. But really what's going to help you get better visibility and increase your rankings with Google is consistently publishing content on a regular basis. So a great example would be having blog articles that you're putting up, case studies, behind the scenes, frequently asked questions, portfolios that you're explaining the project. Those are great examples. Again, really taking a look at your content strategy that's not only going to help you with content on your website, but driving more quality traffic from your other digital channels. One of the key questions I get asked is, well, how often should I be updating my website? Well, it really depends. So depends on how competitive your industry is. It depends on how quickly you want to see results. A good baseline to think about is potentially doing maybe a couple of blog articles a month, 2, 3, as a good place to start. And this absolutely is very effective for those of you that are e-commerce, as well as having a blog on your website. Now, the other factor, so about 80% of what's going to help you increase your rankings once you've actually completed the on-site SEO is obtaining quality backlinks. So websites that have a high domain authority that are linking back to your website. So for example, if you're a member of a local chamber of commerce, your website is listed on that site and its ability to drive traffic to your site, that's considered a quality backlink. And lastly is maintaining your website health, maintaining that fast load speed, maintaining a great user engagement. The more people are engaged with your site, that can absolutely help you with your rankings as well. So I want to walk you through some key tips when you are choosing your keyword phrases. I want you to think like your audience. Try to put yourself in their position. What are the keyword phrases that they would be searching that you want to be ranked for, first and foremost? Again, if you have any questions, post them in the Q&A box as we go through our presentation. Think about longer keyword phrases, such as the example I shared before, dog daycare Glendale. That would be a keyword phrase. It's not just daycare, because daycare could be elder care, child care, pet care, right? And they're actually including the location as well. Conduct competitive research. I'm going to show you some tools that are great to be able to do so, and just even do a Google search for some of these keywords that you're considering. And then making sure that you're using some tools. There's some free resources as well as paid resources that can really help you. Again, because choosing the right keywords is very fundamental in terms of how you're going to be seeing more success, and then analyze your results. So some of the tools I can highly recommend. The first one is a free tool. It's called the Google Keyword Planner. Now, it does require you to have a Google Ads account with a credit card on file, but you never have to run an ad. You don't have to pay a dime. It's just a matter of it gets you access to the keyword planner. Google Trends is always great to see what's trending, what keywords are trending in your industry. Moz and SEMrush are also really great platforms that have free trials. They also have paid programs. So let me give you some examples. Where I recommend you start is create a list of, say, 30 keyword phrases that you think your audience is going to be searching for. Upload them to either the Google search tool to Moz or SEMrush. And here's a great example. This happens to be from SEMrush. When you upload your keywords, now it is going to give you very specific information, such as what is the search volume that is being conducted on Google every month, and also how competitive is that keyword. Plus, this is a big bonus. It will also show you related keywords, keywords that you maybe not thought of, or that are variations. Now, the key factor is, of course, to look at the volume and the competitive level. So, healthy restaurants near me, nice, healthy volume of searches being conducted every month. And the competition, believe it or not, is very low. So that would be one I would select. The lower the competition, the higher volume, that's ideal. You don't want to choose all high volume, high competitive keywords because it's going to be very hard to get those rankings for. So it's a matter of taking a look at that insight and taking a look at variations of that keyword that maybe doesn't have as many searches, but has a lower competition level. So once you've done your analysis, narrow down your keywords from there. Now, that free program I was referencing with SEMrush, they have a free trial, I should say. It's not a free program, a free trial. And it gives you a lot of options. So for example, it will allow you to do some keyword research, competitive research. You can do an SEO audit on your site and a lot more. But do know that if you are going to be doing your own work for the search and getting found locally, I do recommend the paid account, which is about $117 a month. Again, I do have the links here in the presentation that SCORE will be sending you, so you can download and refer them. You just don't want to be flying blind when you're choosing your keywords, because that's the start of where the next steps are going to go. When we're talking about best practices, I mentioned this earlier, you're always writing your content for your audience, right? So if you're marketing to engineers, it's going to be more technical versus, young moms, and really make sure that it's not just trying to write it for search and trying to get it found. So align with the search intent. Feature compelling content. I'm going to be talking about the importance of how to populate that content structurally on your website. We just referenced the importance of not only putting up new quality content, but earning quality backlinks as well. When it comes to your images, very important that you're not uploading huge image files to your website because that can slow it down over time. Plus, I'll show you how to optimize them for search as well. Overall, again, it's really focused on content for your audience. So think about how you can be that great resource for your audience. What are some tips, resources, behind the scenes that you can be sharing with them to ultimately be driving not only first-time visitors, but make sure you're really looking at how to drive repeat visits to your website. When it comes to site speed, you've got to make sure your site is loading very quickly these days, ideally within a couple of seconds. And the more you can improve the user experience, people are spending more time, they're navigating pages, they're filling out forms, the better you have in terms of your ability to get listings. When you are looking at your overall strategy, also keep in mind voice search. About 50% of online searches were being conducted by voice. All the great resources that are available these days. So when you are selecting your keyword phrases, think about conversational phrases, questions, or certainly if you're a local brick and mortar near me, where can I buy? Healthy restaurant near me would be an example of that. So I wanted to give you some other very specific references and ideas for local search. So think about your customers: plumber near me, emergency HVAC repair, best pizza near me, family dentist in Costa Mesa, for example. HR consulting firms for small businesses, list the city, commercial cleaning company. So use those as a point of reference as it applies to your products or services to help you with some of your keywords for local search as well. Now, when it comes to your on-page SEO, this is where I referenced earlier, the one-time work that goes into your website initially, or if you're looking to update your keyword focus, is the on-site search engine optimization. So first and foremost, you've already identified the keywords that you're going to be focused on. Now it's really a matter of getting those keywords within your website content. As the site is structured, the title tags, your meta descriptions, we're going to get into that a little bit. The headers, you're consistently keeping that keyword phrase within those pages, even how you structure your URLs. And another key factor is internal linking. So be writing a blog article that happens to reference your service, link in that blog article to that service page would be an example of internal linking. Optimizing your images, and again, providing that great user experience with a good load time as well. Now, in terms of your content, best guidelines are that every page of your website, you're going to select one keyword phrase. We're not using the same keyword phrase on every page. Each page or blog article, product needs to have a separate keyword phrase. Now, when you're writing your content for your website, you need to have at least 300 to 400 words. Best practice is that you incorporate that keyword within the first paragraph and at least 3 times within that content. So essentially you're naturally flowing in that keyword. Don't try to force it so it's not readable, of course. And then as you are building out your site or optimizing your site, making sure you're using your headers and your meta description. So if you're using any type of content management system such as Wix, WordPress, Shopify, Squarespace, you have the opportunity to actually change what is going to display on that page in Google searches. So that's where you're going to change your title and your description that you obviously want to incorporate that same keyword phrase in as well. Now, when it comes to your images, as I just mentioned, you want to keep your images minimal. So 2 megabytes or less. You don't want to be uploading 50 megabyte image to your website, for example. And when you're uploading your image, you have the opportunity, if you're using a content management system, which most websites are these days, when you upload the image, you have the ability to populate the alternative text and the title. This is where you want to use that same keyword phrase that you've incorporated in the title and the content of your website as well. With user engagement, again, the more time that you can get people to be spending on your site, the more pages, that kind of gives a great signal back to Google that based on the search that they conducted, that you have relevant content. If they quickly leave your site, that can actually hurt you in your rankings as well. And I can't say it enough, focus on your content strategy, getting new content on your site on a regular basis and publishing that content, sharing it across your digital marketing to drive more quality traffic to your website, and also really be thinking about your website and reasons to drive repeat visits as well. All right, we've got a few questions coming in. So let's see here. Recently, GoDaddy told me it looked like I was adding a lot of pages, implying this was a bad strategy. Not at all. The more pages, the more rich content, the better. So think about your hub of your digital marketing is your website, which we're going to get to a little bit. You want to make that as robust as possible. So having great resources, even having a community forum, the more robust your website, the better. And that should not be slowing down your website at all if you're doing it properly. You know, you're not going to be uploading, huge image files or adding video files directly to your website. The more robust that content, and if it's done properly, can absolutely be a game changer in helping you get more visibility online. It might be based on your plan too, depending on what the comment they're having. In terms of resources and finding a keyword, so I just kind of went through that again. You'll get a copy of the presentation that you can refer back to in the recording and download, but it really starts with, that research you put into finding your proper keyword phrase and then doing your on-site search engine optimization as well. In terms of local search, so let's get very specific here. Looking at opportunities to easily be seen. These are things you can do yourself very easily. For example, making sure you have a Google business profile so you can show up in the Google Maps, local directories as well, and of course your website. So let's take a look at some of these resources. If you don't already have a Google business profile, you need to sign up today. Make it a top priority. And it's absolutely free, and you do not have to have a physical address to have a Google business profile. This number one is going to allow you to show up in the maps and allow reviews. Now, if you haven't been to your Google business profile for a while, take a look at it. We're going to walk through some of the ways you can fully maximize it. Just know if you are going to be setting it up from scratch, you do have to go through the owner verification process with Google. They're going to require documents that you're going to have to prove you're the business owner. And if you're a local business that has brick and mortar, chances are they might actually ask you to provide a video of you at your location, again, to prove that you're the business owner. So when you are setting up your account, once you get approved and you are owner verified, now you have all sorts of opportunities. You can enable reviews. You can actually create posts. You can put your products up there. You can have bookings, online bookings, or if you're a restaurant, you can link it to your menu, all sorts of great opportunities. And I do recommend, as soon as you have that up, ask for reviews. Google gives you the opportunity to give you a direct link or a QR code that you can share with your audience and your customers to drive those reviews. The more visibility, the better, because we know this. So many people rely on reviews when making a decision. So here's a great example of a company that does laundry delivery services. They have a 5-star review and very high quality. So look at opportunities that you have, make it easy for your customers to write these great reviews. Also, integrate your review feed with Google to your website. So if you're doing any type of website like WordPress or any of the websites, there are widgets or plugins that are available that allow you to connect your website to your Google reviews, and that automatically will feed into your website. And you also have the ability to adjust the settings. So for example, I only want to pull in ratings that are 4-star and above, right? So you are showing great reviews on your own website as well. Depending on what platform you are, there's different plugins and widgets as well. So we have a lot of questions coming in here. In terms of Google Business Profile and Google Search Console, we're going to be talking about Google Search Console in just a little bit as well. In terms of the Google Business Profile, if you're a home-based online business, yeah, just like I mentioned, so you do not have to have a physical address to have a Google Business Profile is where. All right. So in terms of your Google reviews, think about automating it, right? If you're e-commerce, as soon as somebody has made a purchase, give them a few days, have an automated email go out. Use those QR codes, use the links. Absolutely, if you're brick and mortar, you can have a QR code there on your receipts. Always encourage those reviews. And the key is you've got to reply to reviews. If somebody provides a great review, thank them. If not, you've got to address that as well. So it's a best practice. You can also get great stats on your Google review. You can see how many profile interactions there were, how many calls you received as a direct result. It's a great opportunity for you to be found online if people were asking for directions or if they clicked to your website as well. So Google is just one of many online directories. There's Apple Maps, there's so many. So one of the tools and resources I can highly recommend for you to get on hundreds of online directories using one dashboard is called Yext and allows you to manage and optimize your listings through one dashboard. It is a paid program. It's $199 on an annual basis, but it is a fantastic way to quickly and easily get listed on so many online directories, and again, have one dashboard that you can be managing all of your information from versus individually having to go to all of these directories, which would take a lot of time and manage it. And you also have the ability to get tracking as well. So you'll be able to see how much traffic is coming from each of these directory listings as well. So it is a great way to quickly get between separately doing your Google business profile and then using a service. There's a lot of them out there, but Yext is a very affordable one on an annual basis as well. Let's see, as far as asking people for testimonials through feedback form, is there a way to link that directly to Google? Yeah, absolutely. So in the screenshot I shared a few slides back, when you set up your Google business profile and it's all owner verified, there is the ability for you to get that link, or they even give you a QR code. So you don't have to just ask them from an email to write you a review. You can put the link in or the QR code. So make it as easy as possible for people to share that great review on your behalf. Now, of course, we can't talk about anything online without talking about AI today. So I've talked a lot about the importance of putting up and creating new content on your website. So if you're not already using an AI content generator, you absolutely want to start using one. One of the most popular to this day is ChatGPT. They do have a free plan that you can start with. If you haven't already started with AI, I do recommend getting started with the free plan. But if you are going to use it on a regular basis, I do recommend a paid plan. It's little at $8 or $20 a month. But the key is that you are using a content generator, because there are so many that are out there. It doesn't really matter which one you're using. Find the one you like best. The key is the importance of putting up good quality content. And again, it's not just for your blogs, but through any of your digital marketing. So just a quick demo, if I'm in ChatGPT, you want to give them a prompt. The more detailed prompts you can give them, and I teach seminars just on AI, is list 3 blog ideas about vehicle maintenance tips for summer. Within a second, it's giving me 3 ideas. Now I can pick one of these and say, let's elaborate on this one, and start giving them prompts with voice tone that reflect your brand, specific insight from you and your expertise. And this is where you can prompt it to say, use this particular keyword phrase at least 300 times, create the blog article that's 300 to 400 words. Now you're able to use that content on your blog or your website. The absolute key with using any content generator is you've got to put your own spin on it. Don't just take the content from any AI content generator. Fact check, of course, but you really want to make sure it's truly representing your brand voice and your expertise as well. So again, there's so many content generators that are out there. Find the one that's best for you so that you can keep up with that consistency of putting new content on your website and through your digital marketing as well. Now, one of the other things I talked about was the importance of obtaining quality backlinks. So this is a screenshot from SEMrush, that resource that I shared with you as well. Great opportunity is if you have a press release, you're going to put that link to your website. That would be a backlink. If you are actively putting up new content on a regular basis, you might be asked to guest contributor, share your blog article on a different website or resource. If you come across an article, you can always link back, put a comment and link back to your site, for example. But it's important you are getting those quality backlinks. So let's talk about the importance of, that was traditional search. Let's talk about the importance of AI search. So it gives you answers directly, and it makes sure to know that it pulls from multiple sources. This is why it's important you go beyond your website. That's the hub and the foundation, but why you need to get your reputation with your reviews, these online directories as well. And also taking a look at where it pulls information. So first and foremost, of course, from your website, from reviews, any online mentions, directories, It's content across the web. So consistency is so important, that you have that consistency of information across all of your online channels. So one of the ways to get better visibility, of course, is to show up in the AI overview. So those are the overviews that are going to appear at the top of Google before the paid ads, even in most cases these days, before the organic results. So I wanted to walk you through very specific guidance for how to help you with that. Again, I can't stress enough the importance of you're starting with your SEO work. Now you're going to layer in and adapt how the content is that you're putting up to adjust so that you can be found. So focus on your expertise and trustworthiness. So AI systems really do prioritize brands with consistent, credible content, right? Again, you've got to be investing in search means investing in your content and getting it on your site. Creating high quality, authoritative content. Again, this is what I was just talking about. We're not just taking generic content from ChatGPT. You're using your expertise and really being a great resource. Also, if you increase your engagement rates, you've heard me talk about this earlier, the more people are engaged on your site, that's going to help you as well. So my screenshot here on the right, this is an example of if you're using a resource like SEMrush that I mentioned before, it's actually going to track all of your keywords and how well you rank. In SEMrush, if you see this little plus symbol here, that indicates that you are showing up in AI overviews. So you can absolutely show up in AI overviews. This particular business has all of these keywords, the #1 position in AI overviews. So this is how they would display in their findings. So you absolutely have opportunity to get found in AI overviews. Other recommendations: publish authoritative blogs. Again, look for content and depth, not just trying to fit your keywords in there. Maintaining a strong online footprint. Again, we've talked about this, all these different directories, all of your social sites, your review sites. And very important that you have really clear business information so that you can be found when people are searching in ChatGPT and Gemini as well. Also making sure that you are leveraging your keywords, and very importantly, that you're keeping a more conversational tone, and build your reviews, as we've talked about. Now, when it comes to how to get found in AEO, so answer engine optimization, think about layering in FAQs to your content that you're putting up on a regular basis. Looking at structured formats, so bullet points, numbers, tables, informational, right? Think about ways you can use clear and concise answers. And from a technical perspective, it's really helpful to use what's called schema markup. So if you're working with a developer, this is something they can set up for you initially with an LMS file, text file, and what it does is helps the AI search results find you even better. Now, when it comes to content that works for AI, here's some great examples. Questions in your headers and your descriptions, 40 to 60 keywords. Look at structures and tables, frequently asked questions, blog articles, case studies. Really look at your industry expertise and think about being more informative, but do it in a more conversational style. Those are all ways that can help you get found in results. Other ideas for you to be thinking about in terms of some content, how-to guides, top 5 questions that customers ask, common mistakes to avoid, right? Local insights that you can be sharing, some other great ideas that you can leverage as well. Now, all the work that goes into search, it's important you're not flying blind. You absolutely want to make sure you have a tracking tool in place. So the resources that I shared earlier, Moz or SEMrush, are great to be able to show you on a regular basis so you can see how well you're positioned. In other words, in Google search, for example, how many keywords do you have in the top 3 positions? That's ideal. That's where you're going to get more people clicking through versus page 1 or all of your rankings on page 10. You know, you really need to be able to monitor that. Taking a look at your overall keywords and where they rank. So as the examples I shared from SEMrush, you can see all the keywords you rank for, What position? Month to month, take a look. Am I increasing? Am I getting higher rankings? And also take a look at using a tool like SEMrush, because you can actually track your competitors and see how well they're ranking for the same keywords that you're focused on as well. Your backlink profile, and of course your overall web health. So again, really reinforcing tips to get found in search. Absolutely, still the foundation is that work that you do with the initial search engine optimization. And then the ongoing content is you're layering in those techniques that I shared with you today, because it's very unlikely that if you're not already ranking in search or invested in search, that you're instantly going to show up in AI overviews or the answer engine as well. So start with that baseline and then continue to adapt as the searches change. So as we get into our next section today, I want to talk about the importance of making your website a hub and a priority. I teach a lot of webinars dedicated to websites and best practices, tools, and techniques to drive more business. But today I'm just going to highlight a few key items. When it comes to your website, it should not just exist. You've got to make sure your website is really an effective sales tool for you to really drive more business. And part of that is, of course, designing your site for your target audience, because you only have a few seconds to connect with them. If they don't find what they like, if they're not interested or want to learn more, chances are you only have a few seconds to capture them, and they're going to leave and chances are not come back. So really make sure, first and foremost, that your website is always designed for your target audience so that you are getting the best opportunity to get a conversion, a sale, or a lead when you're driving quality traffic from search or your paid ads or your email marketing, for example. Because of course, these days your website is absolutely investment. If you want to see better results, you need to invest in your website and really think about having a multi-channel marketing funnel that you are not just focused on search. It's really where we see best results across any type of business is when they have an omni-channel strategy. So it's a combination. It's investing in search, email marketing, maybe paid ads, and really tracking, of course, and seeing what's driving best results. So again, making sure your website is the priority, because ultimately that's where you're driving your traffic to get that sale or conversion, and looking at ways that you can really implement that. With that being said, since your website is so important, I really recommend that you take a look at your results. How often are you really taking a look at how much traffic's coming to your site? How long are they spending? What pages are they visiting? So Google Analytics is the absolute key to success when it comes to driving more business, because it's going to give you the insight to see what's working, what's not. Certainly for those of you that are e-commerce, making sure you have the quickest checkout funnel as possible and making sure that your audience is able to navigate your site very easily. So doing an audit or streamline your checkout process. With Google Analytics, you have the ability to track not only what is driving traffic to your site, but ultimately, did it convert? You know, are you driving a lot of traffic from search versus social media, but which one is actually providing more results for you? So you can make changes accordingly. We've talked about this a lot today, the importance of updating your website on a regular basis. And if you really want to see better results from your site, I highly recommend you're testing, you're trying new offers, new messaging as well. So your website truly is that investment to give you that best opportunity to drive more business when people do visit your site. So when it comes to load time, you really need to make sure that your site is loading very quickly, but it's in just a few seconds, because 47% of people won't wait longer than 2 seconds. And every second after that, you're going to see fewer people convert. So take a look and see how fast your website's loading. If it's not loading quickly, talk to your developer or your hosting company. I've given you a couple of links here. Again, you'll be getting a copy of the presentation slide where you can test your site speed. So important is the homepage of your website, how it's designed, what messaging, what visuals are appealing to your audience. So making sure that that is absolutely a key component for your success. It's loading quickly, but also make sure you have a strategy in place to drive repeat visits. It's not just about driving that new quality traffic. It's about driving the repeat performance, because that's where you have the best opportunity to very cost effectively grow your business as well. So with your website, as you can see from our presentation today, it's absolutely your investment, and it's going to support your goals, your resources, and then once it's optimized for your audience, obviously looking at ways that you can be found online, such as search, Google Ads, email marketing, find that right combination for you, but really making sure that you are adapting to what's changing when it comes to online search. And lastly, I do want to cover the importance of measuring your success with Google Analytics. You want to make sure you have a Google Analytics account, and it's absolutely free. You just need to get that code added to your website. Make sure that you have the event tracking set up, because that's what's going to show you your conversions. If you are e-commerce, you need to make sure you have the e-commerce tracking. So across the board, businesses of all sizes, industries, where we see best success is where they are invested in their website, but taking a look at their analytics so you can really be informed about what's working, what's not, what changes you need to make to drive even better results. So Google Analytics is very comprehensive. Today, I'm just going to cover some of the highlights of some key metrics you should be looking at every single month and tracking this. Now, if you're e-commerce, you're going to be looking at your analytics much more frequently. So here's an example of a business in the last 30 days. They had 4,300 users. So they had a good volume of traffic coming to their site. And 4,100 of those were brand new, never been to the website before. So they've done a good job of driving new traffic to the website, but maybe they're missing out on the opportunity to drive repeat visits, right? So again, taking a look at that. Good milestone to hit is if your traffic is visiting your site and staying on there about a minute or more is a good milestone. If they're only on the site for 5 seconds, 10 seconds, and you're not getting a lot of phone calls or business, that's a key indicator there's a disconnect with the traffic and visitors to your website. So take a hard look at maybe updating your pages. If you're e-commerce, of course, it's going to show you your revenue. This is a service-based business, so they had no revenue listed here. Now, here's where you really want to be measuring the effectiveness of your digital marketing is the attribution. So the attribution is going to tell you what was driving the traffic to your website. Was it being found in organic search? Like the examples that we shared today, investing in search, that's going to be fantastic because you're not paying for ads. Direct means that somebody has a link, a direct link, or many times it's also attributed to your email marketing efforts. Was it organic, social, or your paid search? So what's driving the traffic? But even more importantly, I want you to take a look at what is driving conversions. So again, this has got to be set up initially on your Google Analytics account. SCORE teaches webinars on how to do so. So for example, the top driver of traffic to this website is their organic social. So they're doing a great job driving traffic to their website at 1,200 visitors. But if we look, this happens to be e-commerce site. If we look on the far right, out of 1,200 visitors, it resulted in 0 sales. Okay, that's a terrible conversion rate. But let's take a look at what is driving business. Being found in organic search, their direct, happens to be their email marketing, is what is driving the revenue. So this is why it's so critical for your success. You're taking a good look at your analytics, and in this case, making adjustments accordingly. Scale back the organic social, or make adjustments and continue to track and test to see what's going to drive those conversions. Excuse me. Of course, for those of you that are e-commerce, you want to make sure that you're taking a look at that as well, but also take a look, regardless if you're e-commerce or not, take a look at what pages are being viewed. How often are people spending on them? Are you getting an event conversion? Are people taking action? Take a look at what pages aren't getting traffic. Maybe it's some of your most important pages and you need to make more adjustments to drive better quality traffic. And of course, with Google Analytics 4 that has been around for a couple years now, it's all about event tracking. So you'll be able to see how many new visits versus repeat visits, how many people filled out a form or made a sale with your tracking as well. And also, I highly recommend you take a look at the breakdown of the engagement on mobile versus desktop. If you're a B2B, it tends to still be a little bit heavier on your desktop. If you're marketing to consumers, more traffic tends to be on mobile. But take a look. Are people having a different engagement on desktop versus mobile? Maybe there's some changes you need to make accordingly from a design perspective to provide a better user experience on mobile, for example. So again, that's just a very quick highlight of Google Analytics. I definitely encourage you to spend a little more time, be informed, be educated so that you can really see what's working, where you need to make changes accordingly. And lastly, another example of a great resource I highly recommend, which is free, is called a Google Search Console. Again, highly recommend that you set this up for your account. It's allowing you to see what keywords people are actually searching for you to find your website. And it also gives you keyword opportunities, another resource you can be looking at. It also will let you know if there's website issues. And this is where you can actually index your site with Google, or anytime you're putting up new content on your site, you can index those pages directly with Google. And I've included a link here that you can have to download as well. So in terms of our summary action plans, making sure that you're investing in your website and you've got your consistency of content across the board, and updating your site on a regular basis. So in your next 30 days, here's my recommendation. Optimize your Google business profile or get owner verified if you haven't already have one. Looking at your content strategy and updating your website content. Do you have an active plan in place to ask for reviews and get those visibility online? Think about adding frequently asked questions or a blog to your website. Look at your overall strategy again, value add, informational, your expertise in sharing content. But really, the most important recommendation I have is just keep it realistic. You're not going to go from this webinar today and write 100 blog articles. That's not realistic, but have an achievable plan in place as well. And again, making sure that you're utilizing those tools that I referenced. Again, you'll get a copy of this presentation. And lastly, just putting it all together. Again, your hub of your foundation is your website. There are great tools and resources that you can do to help get found online locally. And it's all about focus on that content that's optimized for search and making adjustments based on where things are changing in overall search, getting those reviews. So as we wrap up here, I've got a couple of case studies where businesses that have invested in the techniques that we're talking about today, a premium pest control company, and they are investing in their website. With online search, they're leveraging some key tools such as opt-in forms, email marketing, and they are absolutely killing it. They are #1 ranked on Google for many AI overviews. In the interest of time, we'll go to our questions. So I invite you to connect with us at Creative Marketing Services. You can scan the QR code and you'll receive our upcoming newsletters where we highlight our webinars and marketing tips. A couple of my upcoming webinars that are available at no cost through SCORE are What's Working Now in Digital Marketing. That's going to be on August 14th. And if you want to learn more about how to make your website your strongest business asset, the whole webinar is really dedicated to your website. That's going to be on August 26th. Again, those are free webinars. You're welcome to join. So let's go ahead and turn it over to our final questions today. Where is the best place to write your blog post? Great question. On your website. You want to make sure your website, again, is that hub and foundation. So you want to have in your main navigation, have a blog, and you're writing that content and publishing it directly on your website. Now you're utilizing that to share on social, on email, anywhere you can to drive quality traffic back to your site as well. In terms of Google reviews, yeah, the challenge can be if somebody writes a review that maybe they've written a review and it's not even your business, maybe they made a mistake in finding and they wrote it for you, you actually have to try to contact Google. I will say that anytime you're trying to get a review removed from Google, it's very difficult. But if you can actually prove it is not your business, you have a much better chance of doing so. In terms of blogs and videos for your website, different social media platforms. So These days, of course, video is key. We are getting tremendous amount of business and conversions we see from utilizing video in digital marketing. So have a great quality video on your website or do a vlog. Key is you've got to have the written content if you're going to be put on your site. Don't upload the video directly to your site because that's a large file. That can slow down your site over time. So get your video up on YouTube, of course, for free visibility. Pull in that link either from YouTube or Vimeo so your video plays from start to finish on your website. And that's a great resource, opportunity for you to speak personally to your visitors and your points of differentiation and a call to action, a great place to help you drive more conversions as well. See if we have any final questions as well. In terms of SEO tools, so if you are using WordPress for your website, there was questions about Yoast. So Yoast is actually my #1 choice for SEO tools for WordPress. I teach webinars dedicated to WordPress, but Yoast is our top recommendation. It doesn't do the work for you, but it's a great tool. The premium version just adds some great AI features, but you can always start off with the free version, and that's a great platform to use for your SEO as well. How important is it to have an active LinkedIn page with your followers? Really take a look, of course, at where you are online, where your audience is. If you're marketing to other businesses, LinkedIn, of course, would be a great place to have visibility. But also take a look at making sure that you have a strong presence there, that you're driving traffic back to your site. So having your different social profiles, having your different review sites, getting on the local maps, those are all indications and can be helped to get cited for getting found in local search. Absolutely. The key is you've got to keep it up to date, right? So I think that covers our questions today. We're a little over time, so thank you so much for joining us today. Again, SCORE will be sending you a copy of my presentation slides that you can download and refer back to, as well as the recording, and take advantage of their great mentoring services. Again, those are available at no cost. What a great resource for you to have an expert to give you guidance and insights, and wish you all the best for success. Have a great weekend, and I look forward to seeing you at one of our future webinars.